First, I want to thank you for joining my course, and I urge you to put yourself out of your comfort zone and travel as far and as much as possible. And when you come back to home sweet home, something in your mind will have shifted, and that changes everything. Okay, let's move forward and begin. Pull up your browser and go to www.couchsurfing.com, or you can Google it. I'm going to give you a complete walkthrough on how it works. Stay with locals and meet travelers. What a brilliant idea, whoever thought of this. I love Couchsurfing. I'm actually going to start from the bottom and work my way to the top, so let's scroll down to here. Every year we support over 400,000 hosts, 4 million surfers, and over 100,000 events. That is absolutely amazing and very fun. Let's go to how it works. Discover amazing people. Couchsurfers open up their homes, share their lives with you, connect, and be inspired. Find a host. Connect with host and confirm your stay on the Couchsurfing platform. Your stay with hosts is free, and I'll define the difference between free and freeloading later in this course. Join events. Meet travelers in other cities and in your own. There's always something going on. Couchsurfing just came out with this new thing called Hangouts. It's in beta and it's awesome. I'll also talk about that later in this course. Okay, so here's what you get for free. Stay with local hosts, host international travelers, and attend free traveler events. This sounds like so much fun, doesn't it? Well, it is. First, I'm going to start with strangers. Your best friend was a stranger before you met them. Your friend you met through a friend was a stranger before you met them. You yourself are a stranger to someone who hasn't met you, and you're a nice person, right? Most people think you need to be qualified in some way to make friends, or it's just not acceptable. That's nonsense, and here's why. Let's go to the top and click Learn More. Click on Getting Started. Click on How It Works. I want to share this with you. You have friends all over the world, you just haven't met them yet. I have to say that is the truest statement I have ever read in my life. Some of my closest friends I've met on Couchsurfing. I want you to pause for a second, go to YouTube, search Couchsurfing, and see what other people have experienced so you can get more the idea of other people's outlook on Couchsurfing. And I'll see you in a bit. Okay, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your YouTube videos and got inspired by watching what other people have experienced, so now we can move forward. I'm going to give you my personal outlook on Couchsurfing, then I'll show you how to fill out your profile correctly and implement everything you need to adopt your new lifestyle on Couchsurfing. Be honest and open, and Couchsurfing will work for you. Pictures paint a good picture of oneself. It shows your character, persona, and lifestyle. After I search and find a host with similar interests and feel we will get along, I always ask questions. I am very clear about my boundaries and very clear with my questions. And if a person is reciprocating with, maybe, not sure, I don't know, I think so, and words like that, go with your instincts and move on. Move on till you find that person you feel will be a good fit so you can both make that stay meaningful. Your virtue holds a fine line here, and that's one of the major key components in connection here and why Couchsurfing works in connecting two absolute strangers and turning them into the best of friends. I have read some things like, we stay up all night long and we smoke all the time. Also some stuff like, I spend my nights reading, I have 7 cats, it's a smoke-free house, and I'm in bed by 10 p.m. So you'll get the idea of who you want to stay with by reading things carefully on Couchsurfing. I always treat someone that's hosted me to a cool event, or buy them dinner, or bring food and we cook in. You talk about it, you figure it out, and you both work it out. It's free, but not freeloading, and reciprocation is key component in developing this friendship and stay. Okay, let's talk about some safety tips with Couchsurfing. Before you head out, always tell a friend or family member where you are going. Include a picture of your host so you can confirm everything is fine when you arrive. Give your host that information and tell them this is who to contact in case of an emergency. They will also know that someone knows where you are. I have never felt I had to FaceTime anyone at this point, but if you feel you need to, go for it. It's your call. After your stay, Both you and your host get to leave reviews on each other's profile. This is a good thing. This also puts people in good behavior. Good reviews will paint a good picture of you, and the creative world of Couchsurfing will continue to work for you. Let's take a note on the real world. No matter how honest you are, sometimes you just might run into that person who is not so honest. In that case, you are not obligated to stay. If at any point you feel uncomfortable, leave. Let's say somebody misinterpreted themselves. You are not getting along, you feel uncomfortable or in danger. Remove yourself from the property immediately. Dial 911 if a must. Put your phone on video record just in case. And if it's not so bad, try to work it out. If you both can't come to a conclusion, then you have every right to leave. Politely tell them, "It was nice to meet you, but I feel uncomfortable and I'm going to leave now. Sorry it didn't work out," and walk away. You do not have to explain anything more. Always have a backup plan and some cash on hand. The Couchsurfing platform saves your messages, conversations, absolutely everything when you sign up using a credit card. Couchsurfing knows who you are and the person you are communicating with, and will have no problem finding you or the other if need be. I personally will not stay at someone's house if they have not been verified. It's my you never know rule. And in my opinion, if someone doesn't want to contribute a small fee to get verified in this fun creative world of Couchsurfing, then it probably wouldn't be a good fit if I stayed with them anyways. When I was surfing in Birmingham, my host Mal and her friend Tabitha met me at the train station in the morning. They were so nice. I treated them both to breakfast. I ended up surfing at her place 3 nights. She took me to some fun bars, introduced me to her friends. We played some fun games that I was horrible at. She was so much fun. She also knew I was on my way to visit Donnerton Castle on the weekend. So the next day she took me on a hike to Beacon Hill, this town just outside of Birmingham, and there was a small mini castle there. Super awesome surprise. She knew all the history, really impressed me. We keep in touch still. She's an awesome friend and always will be. Here's a small clip of that awesome little castle on Beacon Hill. What is this?
It's just saying the history of that, like originally erected to commemorate the gift of this hill to the city of Birmingham in 1907. Edward, George Jr. and Henry Cadbury, so the brothers Cadbury, gave this hill to the chocolate brothers gave the hill to the town for use of the people of the city for leisure, health and recreation.
She was a stranger and now we're good friends. Like, that's what Couchsurfing does. It brings people together, it enriches your life, it changes everything. When I was surfing in San Diego, Doug and Alice, this couple, they were awesome. They traveled around the world and they collected masks. And Wendy from Arizona, I've been friends with her for 3 years now. Like, Couchsurfing brings strangers together and just creates this magic. And that's what Couchsurfing does. Okay, I'm going to sign into my profile now. We can begin with how to set up your honest profile. Wow, I never thought I would put this out to the whole world, but there it is. Okay, here we are. Nicholas Bryce, San Francisco, California. I am a verified member. Address is pending because I am relocated at the present. Phone is verified. My payment is verified with credit card. My hosting availability is maybe accepting guests. 69% response rate. This is something I actually contacted Couchsurfing about. I message everyone back who sends me a request to stay at my place, so I didn't understand why my rating was so low. They explained to me that my reply percent is not based on personal messages and based on when you decline or accept the request to stay. So now you know, and now I know, to decline or accept when someone sends you a request to stay. Okay, below is your life people will simply go with about you here, and the life you will go with about others here. I know you're thinking, hey, I know how to set up a profile, and I'm sure you do, and that's great. But there's a saying, if you tailor the little things, big things appear. And in setting up this profile, I show you how to tailor those little things as a host and surfer. So your approach just might be a little different after watching this. Let's begin with about. And let's scroll down here. We have about me, why I am on Couchsurfing, your interests, music, movies, and books, one amazing thing I have done, teach, learn, share, what can I share with my hosts, countries I have visited, and countries I have lived in. Okay, let's go back to the top here. And we have my home. Photos, references, friends, and let's go to edit my profile. You can click here to change your hosting availability at any time. Where I grew up, occupation, education, languages fluent in, languages I'm learning. All this is relatively simple, so go ahead and fill this out. And let's go to About Me. Here is where accuracy and asking questions is very important. Most people don't like to put their whole life out there, and that's fine, but when it comes to staying abroad with someone you have never met, both you and your host will feel more comfortable and at ease if there is a bigger picture to see of one another. It is perfectly fine to ask or answer any questions to one another to assure safety, and that person is really doing what they say they are doing. Don't be shy. Ask questions. Let's begin with my profile. I always have a positive outlook on life and always working on fun projects. Let's stop there for a sec. Whenever I read something like that, I'll search through their photos to find this fun project. If there are no pictures of this fun project, I won't be shy. I'll ask some questions about this fun project in a kind way. Sometimes a person can send you a link to something they're involved in, and as long as I see they are a part of it, then I'm good. As long as someone can walk their walk, they can walk right beside me. I'm not one to ask too many questions, but I do need proof of at least one thing they say they do. So I wouldn't pass up profiles just because the person doesn't put their whole life story out there. That person could be your new next best friend. Okay, moving forward, we have I work for an awesome startup in San Francisco. I usually spend my evenings studying, playing guitar, reading a book, or relaxing with a good vegan dinner and a friend. Sometimes my projects can go from building prosthetic legs for people who can't afford them, and sometimes it's all about me, with recording and fun stuff like that. A good balance in life keeps me going. I am a decent front-end developer, and at the present I am building my own platform of game assets for mobile game use, which is unfolding with awesomeness. I also enjoy the challenges life has, and I feel I can make a change. I have tons of proof of what I do, and some things I like to keep private, and maybe I'll share with my host or surfer if I feel I need to. Remember, you're going to spend a day or several with this person, so it's okay to share your dreams, desires, or whatever here. You'll thank yourself when you meet your new best friend, and you might have some consequences if you don't. Couchsurfing experience. I always have a great time when I couchsurf. I always meet a new friend or several. I always keep in touch with people I have met here. And I love the experience of couchsurfing. So go ahead and implement your why. If you have never used couchsurfing before and you are new to couchsurfing, just be honest and note that. You have a clean slate, and as long as you have some pictures that paint some kind of a good picture of you, then you should be okay. Interest. Put down current things you're doing. If you say something like, I love to go hiking, but you haven't hiked in over 3 years, you might find yourself in a pickle with your host if your host wants to plan a hike with you. Remember, you're looking for effectiveness in your time together, and telling people about your past interests is okay, but the present will nail accuracy. Music, movies, and books. You know what to do here. And here you can note an amazing thing if you'd like. Here I talk about my closing down of my thrift store and building my prosthetic leg project, which was very hard, and I hope one day I can get back to that. It was a lot harder than I thought. Okay, teach, learn, share. Again, you can note something here if you'd like. You're getting the picture, so go ahead and fill this out with your own personal outlook. What can I share with hosts? I always bring food to cook or treat to something fun out in the town. It's only fair. And here's where both of you understand it's not just a place to crash. It's very clear that you and your host will plan some things together for the evening, and that rocks. And lastly, on this page, we have countries visited and countries lived in. You know what to do here, and that's it on the About page. So let's scroll to the top and click on My Home. The home page and the rest should go relatively quick. So let's begin. Here is where you implement and edit your information, and you can edit it at any time. Let's click on that. Hosting availability, where you grew up, occupation, education, languages fluent in, and languages you're learning are all pretty self-explanatory, so go ahead and fill that out. About me. Lots of people make the big mistake by telling people about their past. For example, I grew up in Kansas City. That's not going to tell anyone what kind of a person you are now. About me is about the present you. So let's say you enjoy drawing robots and you play board games every week. Now that's the current you, and that's what should be noted. Why am I on Couchsurfing? How do I participate in Couchsurfing? And my interests. You're on your own here. Just use the golden rule, be honest, and you should be fine. Again, categories below, golden rule. Let's click on photos. There are two things you need to do here to make a big difference in hosting or surfing. 1. Post a picture of yourself. 2. Post pictures of things you're into or things you have done. A headshot is okay, but it only tells so much. Both host and surfer are looking for similarities in each other, so let's make this easier for one another. If you click on any picture, you can get a better look at it. This was a swing set in an alley, and I turned it into a wine holder. Welding is a super fun thing to do. And the fun part about it is you never have to buy furniture. You just make it. And to add photos, you just click here. Pretty simple page to fill out. Okay, let's click on References. After surfing or hosting someone, you both will get an email to leave a review on one another. Here is where you and others can read that feedback. Please note, after you submit your review on that person, you cannot change it at all. No editing, no deleting, it's final. Let's click on From Host. I hosted Nicholas when he stopped by in Birmingham on his way to filming dragons and Scottish castles, blah, 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 blah. She is so awesome. It's very important that you read what hosts or surfers have to say about the person they spent time with so you can feel better about your stay. And friend page. It's as simple as that. You can both reach out to one another at any time and say hello or hang out again.